What up, Hyperchange? Welcome to another episode. I'm inside a Model S P100D ludicrous mode with Tesla Sof here.
What's up? What up, Hyperchange?
You may recognize Sof from Tesla Twitter. He's a very vocal supporter of the company. I met him at the shareholder meeting last year. I'm your host of the Third Row podcast, which I'm also on. But yeah, I really wanted to have you on the show because Sof has uniquely been one of the leaders of the grassroots movements of Tesla does zero marketing, literally zero marketing, but they're one of the best-selling cars in the world. And in the US because of word of mouth and because of people like Sof sort of spreading the gospel. And so you got your Model 3, or I guess before we can get into all that, can you briefly tell us like your story of like how many Teslas you bought and how you kind of became a customer? Sure.
It's like an addiction, right? I kind of joked about it on Twitter the other day. Someone had asked like when you realized you were a super fan. It was one of our friends. And I said, well, I kind of joked and said I went to a Teslaholics Anonymous meeting, right? And, you introduce yourself, and we get it, but I kind of wasn't joking in the sense that the people that I met, it was like some of the really well-known Tesla enthusiasts in the community. I got to meet them, and then that was the first time my wife realized that, wow, there's more of you, right? So I started off my Tesla journey getting a used Model S. It was like a brown Tesla P85. It was like the fastest you can get back at the time. It was a 2013 Model S, and I loved that car so much. My wife, she loved it too, but she just wished it was another color because brown is not the best, but well, for her favorite. And then we had an experience with a loaner car, and Tesla gave me, like, for a weekend they gave me a P90D, a white beautiful Tesla with a carbon fiber interior, almost similar to exactly like what I have now. But I love that car so much, and the Tesla's just like, here, have it. I mean, they knew what they were doing. They knew I was going to get hooked, and I needed to upgrade, get a faster one, more features and all that sort of thing. So that was my second Tesla, and then I put in a reservation for a Model 3 because early back then, my wife had a gas car, and she just never drove it because we would just share the Model S. So it turned out that this gas car was just sitting in our garage, just gathering dust, so we sold it, and we just had the one car to share between us for about a year until the Model 3 came out. And having a Model S meant that we were one of the first to get our Model 3. So it was an amazing car. I loved it so much. I kept that Model 3 for about 10 months until the Performance Model 3 came out. So that was, see, what am I up to now? Yeah, that was my third Tesla. The Performance Model 3 was my fourth Tesla, and that's the one. I still have that one. And then this one I replaced the P90D. This is a P100D ludicrous Tesla. So this is my fifth one.
Wow.
So that's the story.
Fifth Tesla. That's like incredible. And you're such an enthusiast. Like the first time I met you at the shareholder meeting, Sof's like, this is my Performance Model 3. Get in. We're doing launch mode. Like instantly. So I love your enthusiasm, and you've carried that to do Uber basically and Lyft, to basically in your Tesla to show people around. You've done like 800 rides. So tell us about, why did you decide to do that, and how is that experience, like what have you learned from that experience?
Sure. I mean, it's kind of like a bit of an experiment. I haven't done it for a little while now, but I'm about to do it again with my wife's blessing, of course, because it is a time commitment too. But what happened is I had kind of exhausted all my friends and family who I'd talked about Tesla to, and they all knew about it. So I was like, how do I reach more people? And it just made logical sense that I love driving in the Tesla all the time, and I was doing a long distance route. So where I live and where I work there's about 90 miles apart from each other, or 80, 90 miles. So I was like, why don't I just turn on Uber and Lyft? I'll just go do the inspection, which was like a breeze. And then if I have it turned on, I might pick up some passengers on the way to work or back home. So I did that. And I just randomly would pick up a passenger here and there, and they were just like blown away that it was a Tesla that was picking them up. Like I got so many like reactions. Like the most common one is like, did I get upgraded, or is this like a mistake or something?
Am I on like a TV show?
Yeah, and I did film some people as well.
I saw one of your videos. I'll play the footage of you kind of like launch voting and showing people around. That was really
fun. Yeah, I picked up this one guy who was thinking about getting a Tesla, and so that was like one of the catalysts for him to have that experience. And now, like, yeah, I could talk to my wife about it. Unfortunately, I don't think she wasn't there with us, so she didn't really understand. She didn't go. I think if she had been there, though, they probably would be in a Tesla right now. Like, they would own one. But Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. The more people actually have that experience, the better. And that's the next best thing to actually driving the car themselves. And I actually let some of my Uber passengers drive, not while we were on the ride, but we exchanged contact information. Yeah. And then they're like, can you like meet up with me? And like, you know, can I drive your car? So yeah, I let 3 or 4 passengers actually drive as well.
And then you've been pushing out your referral code, and you got like a bunch of referrals because of this, and like you tweet some funny texts to people who are like, yo, you probably forgot about me, but you gave me your card and gave me a ride, and now a month later, like I'm at the Tesla store ordering a Tesla.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
I just think it's so cool how you're really pushing the whole like butts and seats thing. Like Tesla literally spends no money to get the word out, but the product is so good that people are so unaware about what it can do, how fun it is, how fast it is, how much it costs.
Right.
And so you're like one by one kind of changing their minds, and I love that.
Exactly. And I think that people just need to have that experience to understand like the truth, because there's a lot of misinformation out there about Tesla especially. But then I was surprised a lot of people aren't even really paying attention to that in the mainstream. They're just like, oh, I heard of Tesla. The worst misinformation is just the cost of it, because now with the Model 3 it's affordable. But people still thinking Teslas are $100,000 cars. Like they're thinking like the Model S and X, you know, back in the day when they first came out. I mean, now even the Model S and X have dropped in price. I mean, the cheapest S I think is around, you know, 85 grand. Maybe it's gone down a little bit more since then. but you get 373 miles out of that thing.
Wow.
You know, like even this car, this is a P100D, so the performance always has slightly less range. But this has, I think 315 miles when it was new. It's a little less than that because it's, you know, I've had it for a year now. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing with the Uber and Lyft. I've given these people this opportunity that they didn't even know they were missing it. And now they're like, that message that you saw on Twitter, the guy's like, yeah, I haven't stopped thinking about it since like you gave me a ride. You know, I mean, like, how do I get one? And then he went and test drove his own car. Actually, I think it was a girl. She went and test drove her own car and had that experience. And she's like, I just need it. So yeah, I mean, I hear that quite a lot, and I get to be part of that. So it makes me feel really good.
And it's incredible. And like, as you know, Hyperchange investor focused channel. And so why I wanted to have you on is even that like these little anecdotes are so powerful to me. Like people love the product. When they experience it, they're like, wow, this is a game changer. Like you couldn't do that with any other car. It wouldn't matter. But the product is actually that much better. And you have like a 5-star Lyft rating, like 4.98 Uber because of like one cranky lady. Like we won't count that.
I refunded her money.
I think it's like really exciting to see like that real world validation of like the Model 3 was such a theoretical product, you know, since I've been following the company for years, and it really delivered on being that game-changing experience, and you're really showing it to people. And so because of all your referrals you've gotten, you actually are going to get a free Roadster as part of the referral program.
Well,
and you're right?
Well, what happened is they changed the referral program rules, but I was on track to getting a free Roadster, and that wasn't really why I was doing it anyway. It was funny because back in the early days when there was no referral program, I was referring people anyway just because I just love the product. It is that compelling. I mean, not just like the experience, but being part of the sustainability side, which is, you know, it's not so sexy, but we are making, like I said this before, I know it's kind of funny, but cliche or whatever, but we are really making the world a better place, but we're doing it in a really fun way. It's like guilt-free, right?
Sexy cars.
It's a sexy car, yeah. And
so your Roadster. Are you giving? You're going to do Uber in the Roadster. Talk about how much.
Let me tell you what
this is going to be ridiculous. Imagine you request an Uber and a Tesla, like a $250,000 Tesla Roadster, comes to pick you up.
So, yeah. So the whole thing with the Roadster is I didn't win one free and outright because I didn't get that many referrals at the time. Now I have like 63 referrals last time I checked. So not as many as Andy Sly. Shout out to him, who just hit 1,000, over 1,000 referrals, which is great. Because, I mean, he's reached so many people. He deserves that credit. So kudos to him. But yeah, so all of my referrals have just been like direct interactions. I think maybe I got a few on Twitter. Just people know me that way, and they've all approached me directly. But I had 25 referrals at the time when they counted towards a free Roadster. So that gave me a 40% discount, basically.
Wow.
So I get 40%, which I'm going to get it.
Oh, so you're not getting a free one, you're getting a discounted one.
I'm getting a discounted Roadster.
Gotcha.
So I'm definitely going to get it. And,
awesome.
And then I'm going to do a bunch of stuff, which I'll release later on. But yeah, Uber and Lyft is going to be one of the things.
Yeah, I feel like that's a great like reward for all the work you put in.
Thanks, man.
But no, but I kind of really wanted to just share your story because Tesla, I think, the Tesla community is part of the reason I love the company, and there's so much of this grassroots movement. I think you're just like a perfect example of like one of those people that are really doing the job to spread the word. So I really wanted to thank you on behalf of the Tesla community.
Thank you.
And I don't know, do you have any like surprising, like after you did all those Uber rides, was there anything that you were like that surprised you about people's reaction, or were you just expecting everyone was gonna love it?
So yeah, I mean, it was great because I am very enthusiastic about it, so I was able to share that with, you can see like the joy in people that it brings them. So I'm able to share my joy with more people. So that's really the motivation, is just to help other people understand that they can just have that much enjoyment from it too, and it's actually doing good things. So we're moving away from fossil fuels. But some of the surprising things, like one time I had a passenger who was actually taking delivery of his Model 3. So I got to take him to the delivery center, pick him up from work.
So meta.
And take him to the delivery center. I think I made a short video. It wasn't that popular because it's kind of like a, you know, bit of a, it's an unusual thing, but that it was just such a great experience to like, just so random. Like, here's a guy who's like looking forward to taking his delivery of his Model 3, and I was there and I got to sit with him. Actually, I think I got a referral. Like, he actually didn't have a referral code, and so back then you could actually add one, which was pretty amazing. So I made sure that he went through with it. So yeah, I mean, those experiences with Uber passengers, just turning their day, like I've had people say like, this was like the best Uber ride I've ever had, or even like, this is the best, you've just like made my day so happy, and like just making people have that positive experience associated with Tesla, and just realize that it is a good thing. This is good for all of us. You know,
yeah.
That's just been my take, is just being able to share it.
Yeah, and it's incredible. It's like if there's a rule, and I want to find a company where its customers are so pumped, they're doing the marketing for the company, they're showing people it's all organic, everybody's having fun at the same time. Like, that is just the sign of an incredible product in the Model 3 and Tesla. But anyway, thank you so much for sharing your story, Sof. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Tune into the Third Row podcast if you guys haven't already, and we'll see you guys next time.
Peace.
Peace.